Morning traders, and we are looking at the DAX. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We do this every day and get out 3 videos every day. And if you're looking for any other instruments that you'd like us to review, just drop me a note in the comments and see what I can do for you. Anyway, I think going to start off with a weekly here. I just want to get our template back. Right. So we've had 2 weeks of sort of indecision below the 200 EMA, and yesterday we stretched up to it and we tagged it. So there's two things that could mean. First, before we do that, let's just do there. So that is the weekly 200 EMA, and you can see we've got a daily close above it. Okay, so this could be a daily close above it, and we're looking to extend beyond this area, or alternatively this could be an exhaustion bar onto a level. Okay, so those are the two possibilities that we have now. If I look to the left and just, I've been talking about it for quite some time, all this indecision here, and then yesterday we got a nice rally. Okay, so if we just look at the 4 hour, what does this mean for us? Now this is starting to look a little bit tired. We have some deviation from the alligator, so this first massive bar here was my warning, and then we sort of got back up to the level, stretched the level, and then stayed above it for a bit. So it was a nice trade, and I'll run through that for you now. But essentially, you can see we closed above the alligator. We then had this pullback, and then if we just leave the level there, so I'm picking up, not there. So all I'm doing is I'm picking up this inside tail just below the alligator on the 4 hour. Okay, so we can look at that on the lower time frame. So, okay, so you can see, had this bit of rally. We had this 1 bar pullback on the hour, so that was the opening range, and then we sort of opened the next hour bar at the bottom of the range and didn't extend below it. Immediately started, the buyer stepped in. Now the thing that I can show you is on the hour, the previous day we bounced off the 200 day moving average, rallied through the alligator, came back to test the alligator. Okay, now the difficult part, if I just eliminate that, that's a view that we had. Okay, so remember what I said to you, wait for the pullback. The pullback came. If I move it across just to there, you can see it was a 1 bar pullback, pretty close to this level, and then we started immediately started rallying. Okay, but I'll show you again on the lower time frame. So that's been a significant rally. It's extended up onto level above a level. So anything can happen at the moment. We can sort of pull back off here, or we can go sideways, or we can continue. Okay, momentum is pretty strong to the upside. If you look compared to the previous 2 days, how there was no momentum here, and here we've really stretched up, and the buyers are coming in. Now, what are we going to do today? So I'm kind of in two minds. If I just had a look at the Dow as well, and the Dow is at a weekly and sort of at a weekly level, and then there's a daily level just above it. So I'm expecting some kind of fireworks on the Dow, which could either be a pullback or just a consolidation. I don't see us breaking through through the resistance areas that we're at the moment without sort of gathering ourselves and pushing through again. So I'm going to use that same logic across onto the DAX. And at this stage, if you're looking at the half hour, you can see we had these 2 half-hour pullbacks onto the alligator and then a rally. So, and that's kind of what I'd be looking for today. So this fractal here is obviously a key level, and that's another key level there, which is still above the alligator. So if we get any sort of pullback to 11,322 or 11,350, so get a pullback into the zone, and then price action starts showing us that we can look for another entry long. And remember, that would be something like this pattern here, which is an engulfing pattern. There's another engulfing pattern, or an inside bar. There's an inside bar there, or a pin bar. Yeah, any of the reversal patterns off one of these levels, that would signal a long for me. What you could also do is look for the first hour of trading, and I'll do this. So this bar here, this is the first hour of trading. Let's put both in, and what you do is you look for your opening range breakout. It just hasn't been reliable the last couple of days. Every time you get it, you get a break and then it reverses and goes the other way. And sometimes, like this one here, you get these 2 days here where you get a fake out to the one side and then it reverses back to the downside. So these things are very difficult to trade when you are in the alligator like this. But when we are above the alligator or below the alligator, 9 times out of 10, they play out pretty well. Okay, so if I come to the 12 minutes, you'll see what I mean. So look at the bottom here, you can see that was our closing range. Okay, so it's basically, let's just get 5 and we can count the bars. Okay, so there was our first hour of trading. So it's basically 12 bars from the open. Probably takes us to there. Yeah, so there, this is the 12th bar here. Now what you're looking for is a break above here. And you can see how we extend to the alligator and then we have this bar that basically closes above here. That was your trigger. So it's long and then your stop immediately long there and your stop is below here. So it was a 30-point stop loss. And you can see how nicely we rallied to the upside. Okay, so for today, I would suggest following the same process. We are above the alligator. Watch these levels. If price does come back down to these levels, then those are your entry points. Otherwise, wait for that first hour of trading. Draw your levels on the first hour of trading and then take the trade on the break either way. Okay, and the rules still apply. You're looking for the height of the range as your first target, and followed by the 161.8 extension. So it's the height plus 61.8, and then followed by 2 times the height, and then 2 times the height plus 61.8. Okay, so that's kind of what I'd be looking at on the DAX today. But I am very cautious at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what happens. It is looking, it does look like we've got some levels that we're going to come tag. So that normally means sideways action or some kind of a pullback of sort. This picture that you see here is also a worry with the alligator, sorry, not the alligator, the awesome oscillator creating lower highs at the moment. But it's not doing it on the hour, not really on the half hour yet either. So there's probably another push to the upside still. Okay, and I think before we close, let's just see where we are on the ichimoku. Okay, on the daily, we have broken through. The trend is up. You can see everything is pointing to the upside. 4-hour trend is up. We are pretty far extended from Kijinsen and Tikinson, which is why I'd like to see a pullback. And I'd like to see a deep pullback actually down to at least, as a minimum, somewhere around 13,300. Okay, and if you look at the hour, everything's going to be up. But when you've got Kijinsen and Tikinson so far apart from each other like this, that's normally a warning bell that you're going to get some sort of consolidation or retracement. You see here, far apart, and then we consolidate. Far apart, and we pull back. Okay, so that's kind of my view for today. In 2 minds, whether this pattern that we have here is a top pattern or we are looking at a start of a consolidation. So consolidation could be something like that. Okay, so be careful. I don't see any long-term levels in this area. Well, I suppose we could use the swing low here as a level, but to me the bigger level is up here. So this is the bigger level. Now, interesting to see on the weekly, the trend is still up, and we're coming up to Kijinson. We also overextended on the Williams percentage R. So this is an area of interest for me at the moment. So that's why I'm really cautious at the moment, because the weekly trend is still down. I would expect another move to the downside. If we can get a move to the downside and create a higher low, that would convince me that we are starting to, turn to the upside. But anyway, for now, the long-term trend is down, and this is just a retracement as far as I'm concerned, and we should be starting to look for shorts. It's quite a big zone, somewhere between where we are now and also the 11,700 area. But that's what I'm looking for. There is still this head and shoulders target to be tagged, and that's what I'm waiting for. Anyway, hope that makes sense, guys. Short-term trend is up at the moment, but your long-term trend is down. And what you're looking for is this long-term trend is pretty much a retracement to a level. And we're at a level, you've got to watch what happens. There's still scope for a little bit more upside, but I do think we're starting to get the warning bells that we need to pay attention and start looking out for any signals that are going to point to the downside. Okay, so yep, that's it for me today. Watch that first hour of trading, and whatever break we get to the upside of that first bar to the downside, that would be your initial move for the day, and you're looking for the range height. Keep those stops tight, preserve capital at all costs, because you are in an area of extreme interest for the bears right now. Okay, so enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.